All right, so welcome to this lesson. My name is Tutor Solutions, and I'm from Discrete Learning Institute. So, Discrete Learning Institute offers supplementary lessons, whatever you'll be covering in class. Okay, so whatever you don't understand in class, when you come here, you will understand. Okay, you will understand. We'll teach you how to answer questions nicely. Okay, and just how you can easily pass your assessments, okay, which include your quizzes, your tests, your assignments, your final exams, everything will be able to assist as Discrete Learning Institute. Okay, so you've joined a very good group. I just hope you use it to your advantage, okay, and also use our materials and resources to your advantage. So today we'll be looking at the first topic in mathematics, and that topic is simply set theory. Okay, so we're going to look at set theory introduction. And I urge you guys to ask questions wherever you do not understand. So the objectives for this particular lesson, okay, that we're going to have today, the objective, the first one is we should be able to define a set. Okay, we should be able to give a proper definition of what a set is. Okay, because some of you here, if I even ask this question, you will fail to define a set. Okay, some of you have forgotten and the like. So you need to know the definition of a set, the full definition. Okay, we need number two to understand what the elements of a set are or what the observations are. Okay, because all the topics in math are going to require you to have some basic knowledge of what the sets are. Okay, number three, we'll talk about the equal sets and we'll combine those concepts with what we call as equivalent sets. Okay, equal sets, equivalent sets, we're going to define them and see what they are. We're also going to talk about cardinality. Okay, cardinality simply means the number of elements in a particular set. We call it as the cardinality. Okay, and then we'll also look at the subsets. So we'll talk about two types of subsets. One is what we call as the proper subset, and then the other one is the improper subset. So we're going to talk about both of them. And then we'll also talk about the empty set. We'll learn about the notation that we use to denote the empty set. Talk about the power set. So this one here is very important. Okay, the universal set. I know you know what a universal set is. And of course, at the end, we are going to solve some sample exam questions that I've gotten from the past papers. Okay, so right from the beginning, we'll be looking at something that can actually come in the exam. Okay, so let's start. So define a set. So anyone who can help us define a set, what do you think a set is? Anyone? What is a set? Just you unmute your mic and okay, yeah, the one who has raised your hand. You can go on and help us with the definition.
So a set is a collection of distinct and undefined elements and undefined objects called elements and numbers.
Called elements or what?
Numbers.
Numbers. Okay. Yeah, so excellent. So that's the definition of what a set is. Okay. However, you should be careful when you are define it. You said elements or numbers. So the number, if you put number in your definition, then you're going to limit that definition. Okay. So you remove the number, you say elements or members. Okay. That's a proper definition now. So you can tell from what she said a set, okay, is a collection. I want you to pay attention to two particular words here that we are going to use. A collection of, one, she said distinct. Okay, distinct. And the other word that she said was well defined. Okay, well defined and then objects. Okay, so this is the definition of what a set is. So take a look at this word and this word here is what should help you understand what a set is. Okay, so distinct, when you talk about distinct, you mean that the members or the elements that are going to be in this particular set should be distinct, meaning that they should be listed only once. Even though they appear more than once, they should all be listed what? Once. That's what we mean by distinct. So for example, if I have a set, okay, A, which has 1, 2, 2, 2, and then 3. So you see that 1 is repeating here, and even the 2 is also repeating. Okay, but from the definition, we say the set is a collection of distinct. So meaning this here is a wrong representation of a set. So we just have to write each element once. So to write this set, we're just going to say it's a set A that contains 1, 2, and 3. So you can see that those that are repeating, I've actually just listed them what? Once. So that's what we mean by distinct, meaning each different element should be listed only once. Okay. The other word that was there was the well-defined. So what does the well-defined mean? It means that, okay, it must be possible to clearly decide whether a set, whether an object will belong to a particular set. Okay. It shouldn't be hard to decide that, okay, this thing belongs in this set. It should be very easy. So for example, if I say A is a set that contains vowels, okay? Everyone in the world, wherever you go, if I just say A is a set that contains vowels, they will actually know that I'm referring to A as a set that contains A, E, O, U. So there is no disagreement whatsoever. That's what we mean well defined. The elements in that particular set, okay, should be easily should be easily placed in that set without any argument. Okay, so I can't come here. They told me, okay, they can tell me that, okay, A is a set of vowels, and then all of a sudden, me, when listing this set A, I put Z somewhere there. Then they'll ask me, are you okay? Okay, so well defined, meaning that it should be clearly, okay, should be clear that, okay, this element belongs in this particular set. So that's the full definition of a particular set. Okay, and although I went ahead of myself here, I will also talk about the notation. So the notation that you'll find in this topic set is that a capital letter like A, like B, like C, like D, any capital letter that you may think of, okay, is going to represent a set. So a set is represented by a capital letter, okay? And then now, the members or the elements that are going to be in that particular set are represented by a smaller number if we are talking about letters, okay? So for example, I can say A is a set that contains B, C, and then D. So you can see that the set itself is a capital letter, but the elements that are inside are smaller letters. Okay, so the elements, what I was saying here as elements, or what you say as members, will always be represented by smaller letters. Okay, if you're talking about letters anyway. And then the set itself, it will always be a capital letter. So don't ever write your set as A is equals to, and then you list whatever here. This here is a wrong representation of a set. Okay, so we have defined what a set is, and also we said whatever you are going to be putting inside the set, that's what we call as the elements, and these elements are also called as members. Okay, so any question there on the definition of a set? Any question there? Okay, so I can also talk about the membership symbol. So if, for example, I have set B, okay, that contains X, Z, and then X, Y, and Z, okay, to say that a particular letter here is a part of this set B, we are going to be saying X is a member of the set what? B. So this notation here simply means member of. Okay, I'm sure you can remember that's what we used to do at secondary level. Okay, so if there are no questions, I'll move to the next part. So this next part talks about what we call as the equal and equivalent sets. Okay, so for those who have started studying, I'm sure they can tell the difference there. Okay, so I'll say equal here. So when we say equal sets, Okay, it's very easy to define two sets A and B. Okay, in a layman's language, you can say two sets A and B are equal. Okay, so A and B are equal if they contain, okay, if they contain the same elements, okay, the same element. So meaning that here the order does not matter. Okay, for example, I can have my set A as 1, 2, and then 3. And then I also have my set B, which I'll write as 3, 2, and then 1. Okay, so you can see that set A contains 1, 2, 3. Even set B contains 1, 2, 3, but in a different order. So if two sets contain the same elements, then we're going to say that those two sets are what? Are equal. Okay, but now this is just a layman's language. Okay, even uh, any person that you can find, okay, even if they have not learned this topic and they like, when you just tell them, okay, equal sets contain the same thing, they will understand. But for you guys who be doing this topic sets, okay, here is how you should be defining what equal sets are. So you're going to be saying two sets A and B are equal, okay, are equal if and only if. So there's a condition. They are equal if and only if A is a subset, okay, of set B, and B is a subset of A. Then we can conclude that A is equals to what? To B. So you as intellectuals, you have actually covered this topic. You have to define equal sets like the way I've written them down there. Okay, you say two sets A and B are equal if and only if A is a subset of B and B is a subset of A. Then those sets are going to be equal. Okay, but if any of these condition is not satisfied, then we are going to say those sets are what? Are not equal. Okay, so any questions on the equal sets? Okay, so the other thing that is close to the equal set is what we call as the equivalent set. So let me just make a copy of this. Okay, so equivalent set. So equivalent sets now, you're going to say two sets are equivalent. Okay, two sets are equivalent if they contain the same number of elements. Okay, so notice the difference from the equal sets definition. We said they are equal if they contain the same element. But now here we are saying they're equivalent if they contain the same number of elements. Not necessarily that the elements are equal, no, but just the same number of elements. Then we are going to say that those two sets are what? Equivalent. So for example, if my set A, okay, contains B, C, and then D, and then my set B, okay, contains 7, 8, 9. Okay, so you can see here that this particular set, how many elements does it have? 1, 2, 3. It has 3 elements. This particular set, how many elements does it have? It has 1, 2, 3. So it has 3. So we are going to say A is actually equivalent to what? To B. Or you can say A is equivalent to B like that. Okay, so you can see that the elements are not the same, but the number of elements that are there present in those particular two sets that we have been given, they are actually the same. Okay, the number of elements is the same. So we say two sets are equivalent if they have the same number of elements inside of them. Okay, so any questions there, guys? Any questions before we move? Okay, so I think that is perfectly clear. We can also talk about what an empty set is. Okay, so what is an empty set? Anyone who can help us? Anyone who can help? What is an empty set? Ha, you guys. So an empty set is a set, okay, is a set that has no element. Okay, so the number of elements in that set, it is 0. Then we are going to say that is an empty set. Okay, so now the notation that we are going to use to denote this empty set is going to be as follows. We can say the set is empty. We can denote the empty set by writing a 0 and then crossing it like that. So this symbol means empty set. Or we can say curved brackets but with nothing inside, like that. Okay? Curved brackets with nothing inside. These are going to represent an empty set. Okay, but now the common mistake that I've seen with some students is that they write the empty set to be, they write this curly bracket and then they write a 0 slash like that. So now this here is not an empty set. Okay, this here is not an empty set. It is a set that contains the empty set. Okay, so this part here, it is a set that contains the empty set. So it's not an empty set. Okay, so don't present your empty set like this. So pick one. Either you pick this or you pick this and not combining them like that. This is not an empty set. It is a set that contains the empty set. Okay, so I think that is perfectly clear there. Moving on, we'll talk about a power set. Okay, talk about the power set. In fact, before we talk about the power set, we need to talk about the subset. So we'll come back to the power set. Okay, let's first talk about the universal set and the subset. Okay, so what is the universal set? Okay, what is the universal set? So the universal set is simply the set that contains all the elements under consideration. Okay, a set that contains all elements under consideration. Okay, this is the universal set. So meaning that if my set A, for example, is 1 and 2, okay, and then my set B is 2 and then 3 and then 4, my universal set, which is A union B, will just be, we're going to combine the elements here and the elements there, but making sure that whatever appears here and there is not written twice. So 1, okay, 2 is there and 2 is also there. So you only write it once. Then you go to the 3 and then to the 4. Okay, so you see that what we have there is our universal set. So a universal set is going to contain all the elements that are under consideration. Okay, and then now we can talk about the subset. So now when you talk about the subset, let's have a set A there, which will have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let's say 5. Okay, then I have another set B somewhere here. And this set B only contains 1 and 5. Okay, and I have another set C, which has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's basically just the same as A. So now a subset, okay, a subset, we say that a set, okay, is a subset of another set if every element of that particular set also belongs to the other set. Okay, so for example, I can say A is a subset, okay, of a set B if every element, okay, every element of A belongs to B. That is the definition of a subset. Okay, A is a subset of B if every element of the set A also belongs to the set B. Okay, so now there are two types of subset. There are what we call as the proper subset and what we call as the improper subset. Okay, so now the proper subset simply means the subset does not contain all the elements that are in the particular set. So, for example, here, the set that I've been given is this A. This is the set that I've been given. And then from this A, I've come up with set B, and I've also come up with set B, set C. So you can see that this set B, 1 and 5, is just a part, okay, of the elements that are in set A. So it's a subset of this guy here. Okay, so all elements here are actually present there. But not all the elements that are here are present. I mean, not the element, all the elements that are here are present there. So when you have such a set where some of the elements, I mean, all of the elements that it has, like this B, all the elements that it has are in A, but not all the elements that are in A are in B. We're going to say this is a proper subset. Okay, because only some few members from here were gotten so that they can come up with B. But now, in a situation where the other set that you formed has used all the elements in the particular set that you were given, then you are going to call that subset as improper subset. So for example, this C, you can see that this C here, okay, got all the elements from the set A. So, meaning that it is a subset, but what type of subset? It's going to be improper subset. So the improper subset, its symbol is just going to be, I think I've used a lot of these symbols. Let me put D there so that you don't confuse you. So I'm going to say D is is an improper subset. So this symbol here is the one that means improper. Okay, improper subset of what? Of the set A. Why are we saying D is the improper subset of A? Because when forming this set D, we got all the elements that were in A to form this set D. Okay, you can see all the elements are there. So D is the improper subset of this A. But if we just get some of the members from A and form another set, we're going to call it as a proper subset. Okay, so any questions there, guys? Any questions there? Okay, so now that we have understood this, we can now go back and understand what we call as a power set. Okay, so by definition, we say that a power set, okay, a power set, okay, let me write it as a a power set of a set A. So here you should pay attention. A power set of a set A is the set, okay, containing all the subsets of A. Okay, that's what we call as the power set. The power set, okay, of a set A is the set containing all the subsets of a particular set A. Okay, so let's say, for example, A has elements 1 and then 2. Okay, so now when it comes to listing the subsets that a particular set has, to find the number of subsets that a certain set is going to have, you always use this formula, 2 to the power n. So now n is the number of elements that will be in that particular what? In that particular set. So if I want to find the number of subsets for this set A, I'll just count how many elements are here, 1, 2. So the number of subsets will be 2 to the power n, but the n is 2. So that is 2 to the power 2. And this 2 to the power 2 simply means multiply 2 by itself. Okay? And this is just going to be 4 subsets. Okay, so now among the subsets of any non-empty set, okay, among the subsets of any non-empty set, there are always going to be 2 improper subsets. Okay, and remember we said the improper subsets are one, the set that is equal to itself, and I'm going to introduce another improper subset here. So the other improper subset is the empty set. So any set that you can be given, the empty set is a subset of it, and we call it as the improper subset. So now I can list all the subsets of this A. So the first subset will be if I only get one. Okay, you can see this here is a subset of this because whatever is here, I can see them there. The other subset that I can get there is if I just get the two alone. So this guy is also a subset of this. Another subset would now be the improper subset when I get everything there. So it will be everything like this. Okay, and I said that for any non-empty set, so meaning any set that has one element, two elements, as long as it's not empty, we're always going to have two improper subsets. One is the set itself, which I've already written, and then the other one will be the empty set. So you're going to write the empty set here like that. Or you can use that symbol that we said like this. Okay, so now a new set that you are going to form by listing all the subsets of a particular set is what we call as the power set. So I'm going to say the power set of this set A will just be equals to the set that will contain all the subsets of that particular set. So all the subsets of this set A are 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll put this in a set like this. Okay, so make sure you understand this. This is quiz 1 question. It's definitely coming. Okay, so you can see that all the subsets for this set A that I found, I've now listed them inside the set. So that forms what we call as the power set. Okay, I think now maybe the definition can make a little bit sense. So any questions there, we address it. Any questions there? Have we understood what a power set is? Okay, can I?
Um,
Oh, okay.
m- Maybe you can just kindly repeat on the last part. I didn't understand.
Which part exactly?
Where it says PA is equals to V instead of here. I didn't understand.
Okay, so what we have listed down there, this part here, is what we call as a power set, which is what we are talking about. We are talking about a power set here. So now I'll take you back to the definition. So the way we define the power set, we said a power set of a set A is the set containing all the subsets of that particular set. So the set that we are given here as A was this one. It had the elements 1 and 2. Okay, it had two elements. So first of all, we find the total number of subsets that is going to have. How do we do that? We use this formula here, 2 to the power n, where this n is just the number of elements that you have there. So the number of elements that I have here are just 2. So it was 2 to the power 2, which means 2 multiplied by 2. So that gives me 4 subsets. Okay, so I now have to list those 4 subsets. So how do I list them? I go back to my set here. I can get 1 on its own. This is a subset of A. Okay, I can get 2 on its own. This is a subset of A. Or I can get the whole set A. It's also a subset of A, this guy. Okay, and then we also mentioned in the rule where we said the any non-empty set will always have 2 improper subsets. So the 2 improper subsets in this case will be the set itself, this one, and the empty set. Okay, so we can count now. We found that we need to find 4 subsets. We can count 1, 2, 3, 4. So this particular set has these 4 subsets. So now, if you get those subsets that you found and put them in a set, group them in a set, that set that you are going to form is what we are calling as the power set. And the notation is simply P of whatever set that you have here. So if I had P of B here, I mean, if I had set B here, I would say B there, say the power set of B, something like that. Okay, and have you understood? Hello? The one who asked the question?
It's clear now. I understand.
Okay. Thank you for that. All right, so that is the power set, guys. And I was saying you have to know what the power set is and you have to know how to find it. Okay, because these are quiz one types of questions. Okay, so in 2 to 3 weeks from now, you'll be writing a quiz one, and this will be one of the questions. So start knowing how to solve it right now. Okay, all right. So we've known the power set. What did we not discuss here? The cardinality. Okay, so let's discuss the cardinality now. So cardinality, it's simply the number of elements. Okay, it's the number of elements in a particular set. Okay, the number of elements in a particular set, that's what we call as the cardinality. So for example, if I have set A, okay, which has the elements 1, 2, 3, let me not put something straightforward. Okay, 1, 3, 7, 9, 11, 15, let's say 17. And then they ask you find the cardinality of this set. Okay, so the cardinality is simply the number of elements in that particular set. So the symbol for cardinality, we have two. You can either write a line, then put your set in the middle and then a line. So these two are called the modulus. Okay, these two lines here with something inside. This is the modulus of this A. So the cardinality of A is represented by the modulus of A, which will just be, and then you count how many elements are there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 elements. That's the cardinality of that particular set. Or you can use the other notation. You write n like this, okay, and then you say A. So this also means the cardinality of set A. Even this one is the same thing. So the cardinality here we found it was what? 7. So the cardinality simply means the number of elements, okay, in that particular set. Okay, so any questions there, guys?
No.
Okay, so
No.
some those are some of the terminologies that you have to know as you start the topic set, and I just thought we could look at those basic things, okay, as we are trying to remember what we learned at secondary and the like, okay? So this is not a very long lesson, okay? So we can now look at some question papers, I mean some exam sample exam questions, okay, which I got from the past papers. Okay, and you can see most of these questions on set will be appearing in quiz one. This appeared in quiz one, quiz one, quiz one, quiz one. Okay, so you can see that what I'm teaching actually comes. So let's try to just run through these questions here, and then we call it a day. So the first question here says, which of the following best defines a set? Okay, so it will be you who will be answering the questions. So what do you think is the answer here? A, B, C, or D? Which of the following best defines what a set is?
B.
B? You said B? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a collection of distinct, well-defined. So don't miss these two words whenever you're defining the set. So this is the answer. The other question there says two sets, A and B, are equivalent if. So what is the answer there?
If only A is a subset of B and B is a subset of A.
Okay. Do we agree with her?
My answer is C.
C. Okay. So C says what? The
That A
cardinality.
has, yeah, the
Yeah,
cardinality of A is the same as the
exactly,
cardinality of B.
exactly. Okay. So the answer here is C. So the one who answered that first, what you're describing there is the definition of an equal set. Okay, we said two sets are equal if A is a subset of B and then B is a subset of A, then we can conclude that A is actually equals to what? To B. So this is the definition of an equal set. But for the equivalent, okay, equivalence of sets, we said we must have the same number of elements in that particular what set. And we're just from talking about cardinality. We said cardinality is the number of elements in that set. So meaning this guy here simply means the number of elements in set A is equal to the number of elements in set B. And these are the same. Okay, so if these are the same, then we conclude that our two sets are equivalent. So the answer is C there. Okay, what about this one here? Question 3. Okay, so there's some bit of notation here that I haven't taught, but it's okay. So they're saying let A be a set of x's such that x is a vowel in this particular word, which is mathematically. Okay, find the cardinality of A. So the first thing that we have to do there is first of all list what the set A is. Okay, so the set A is, A is a set of all x's such that x is a vowel. Don't worry, I'll teach you how to read these things. Okay, so it's a set of all x's such that x is a vowel in this word mathematically. So if I was to list this set A, what would it contain? Okay, we're told x should be a vowel in this word. So we know that the vowels are the R, A, E, O, and then the U. So you're just looking for A, E, I, O, U from that word mathematically. That will be the elements that will be a part of this set A. Okay, so you can see there's A there. Let me underline with a different color. There's A, there's E, there's A again, there's I, there's A again. Okay, so those are the only way letters that are vowels. So you can see that A is actually repeating 3 times. But when writing it here or listing it, we said we only list it once. So we're going just to say A, okay? And then what else? We can see E. This E is just once. So I'll write E, okay, a comma. And then I can also see I there, which is a vowel like that. Okay, so in this word mathematically, we only have 3 vowels. So meaning the cardinality of A will be what? Anyone who can give us the answer? Okay,
3.
excellent. So the cardinality is simply 3. Okay, the cardinality is simply 3. Okay, let's look at this other question. Then I'll leave one question for you to just try and practice. This question here. Oh, someone has raised their hand. Please ask. I've seen
Yeah,
some.
I want to
Mhm.
ask, there you used big letters when you said you should use small letters when writing elements of a set. Can you please explain that?
Oh, okay. And no, this is just a particular this is a particular question the way it is because they're telling me to get the words from the word mathematically. So I can't write them
Mathematical.
as yes. So I'm getting the elements from here. No wonder I've written them
Okay.
as bigger numbers there. I mean big letters, capital letters.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, let's look at the last question. Then I'll leave a question for you to try. So this one says the power set, okay, of a set with 4 elements has, okay, anyone who can try to answer? The power set of a set with 4 elements has
16.
16 elements.
I think. Isn't it 2 to the power n?
Okay, how did you find the answer?
Isn't it like 2 to the power n and then you do 2 to the power 4? That's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2.
Yes, okay. Yes, I just wanted to explain you to explain that. So you do 2 the power n. So now they said this power set of a set has 4 elements. Okay, so the power set of a set with 4 elements has how many elements in it? So 4 elements. So it will be n is equals to 4. So this will be 2 to the power n, but n is 4. So 2 to the power 4 is simply 2 multiplied by itself 4 times, like this. Okay, and then you multiply 2 multiplied by 2, I get 4. 4 multiplied by 2, I get 8. 8 multiplied by 2, I get 16 elements. Okay, so these will be the elements that will be present in the power set of a set that has 4 elements. Okay, so any questions there, guys? Okay, so if there are no questions, I think this is enough for an introduction. But I have a question here that you can try out. Okay, so just screenshot whatever you are seeing on the screen, and I want you guys to try out this question here. It's a very good question, very good, a very common question in the quiz. So meaning you need to know it. Okay, so I'll share a video on how to solve this, but um, I want you guys first to try. Okay, so try on your own. Try to solve that question there. This one here. Okay, and then once you are done with it, you can inbox me your solutions. I check if what you're doing is correct or what you're doing is actually not correct. Then I can correct you. Okay, and then I'll also send you a video so that you see how we actually answer this particular question. All right, guys, any question before I go? Any question? Okay, so if there's no question, let me just show you the YouTube channel and how you can actually be using it effectively, and also the website. Okay, so if you want to go to our YouTube channel, just go on YouTube, either on your phone or you can use your laptop or whatever device that you're using. Okay, and then just type in you can either type in Discrete Learning Institute or you can type Tutapor Solutions, whatever is you're comfortable with. Okay, just type in Tutapor Solutions and then you go to this particular page. Okay, so you can see this YouTube channel purely meant for your pre-med syllabus. Okay, so when you go on this YouTube channel, because most of you don't know how to find videos that are helpful. So you can see there's even a video here, how to pass your first year courses easily. So you can watch it, okay, so that you know what you should be doing. Okay, and then just go on playlist. You've seen where the playlist is. Go on playlist here. And then the different playlists are going to come up. Okay, so you look for the one for mathematics, you look for the one for chemistry, just like that. Okay, so for example, mathematical methods, there's this playlist here. So you can open this playlist and you'll find videos on everything that you know. Okay, we'll teach you again, but everything that you know is already here. So you can see all these videos and the things that you need to know in order to pass your pre-med is already here. Okay, is already there. So the videos are there, so you can be watching at your free time. Even in your blankets, you can still watch. Okay, or you can type in there Discrete Learning Institute. Okay, which is this guy. You go to that YouTube channel. Again, you're going to find the same things. Okay, so these YouTube channel are used for free videos. So we post free videos there. Okay, you don't have to pay anyone, just use your phone and the bundles. Okay, so the bundles that you use on TikTok, you can now use them on YouTube. Okay, so once you've started school, forget about TikTok. Okay, all those things that you are doing on YouTube, I mean on TikTok, be doing them on this YouTube channel. Then you'll thank me later when the results come out. Okay, and you get your A pluses and the like. Okay, so for free videos, you can check those YouTube channels. You can also check Tutor John Official. Just check Tutor John Official, it will come. And now I can show you the website. So now the website is different from YouTube. Okay, when you go on the website, you'll find things that are properly arranged in the order that you should learn them and in the order that you will be able to follow in an ordered manner. Okay, so I don't know why it's not loading. My network is probably slow, but you should check it out anyway. So you go on the website, you'll find videos to all the topics that you're going to learn. You find videos to all the past papers, okay, that I've been sending in the group or that you saw on the link that I shared. You'll find videos to all the tutorial sheet. So those things are the things that you must know for you to pass easily. Okay, so there is no lazing around at university. You need to work hard. Okay, and you work hard by studying. So make sure you study and check out the website. I don't know, it's not loading on my end there. Okay. And if you want to subscribe on the website, you can subscribe. You access everything that you need. All right. So any questions? Any questions? Oh, I almost forgot. So those who need the calculators, okay, I'll be bringing them tomorrow on campus. Okay. So if you know you need a calculator, I'll bring them tomorrow so you can have your own calculator. Okay. Otherwise, thank you so much for attending this lesson. Okay. This has been Tutor Post Solutions. Until next time, always there for you.